Well, 2 pit bulls are being held tonight after a ferocious attack in Lincoln Heights. That put a man in the hospital.
A vicious, violent attack by 2 pit bulls in Lakeland.
Where you bit?
My leg.
Okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Hey, 2 pit bulls attack a Tampa man, dragging away the family's pet poodle before also going after a police officer.
Let's get started on the right foot. I like dogs. Big dogs, normal dogs, small dogs, doesn't really matter to me, I like most of them. But there's a big problem in the dog community, and it's having deadly repercussions for American people. There are a small minority of dogs that are causing an inordinate amount of problems for other dogs, and for people. These dogs are committing acts of aggression that earn all dogs a bad reputation in the media. This small percentage of the dog race is committing a disproportionate amount of dog crime, and doing so under effectively a media blackout. Nobody's talking about this stuff. We're talking, of course, about the pit question. Pit bulls were originally bred in the 19th century as a cross between bulldogs and terriers. According to the Canine Journal, pit bulls are only 5% of the dog population in the United States. However, according to dogsbite.org, pit bulls contribute to 66% of all dog-related deaths in the U.S. 5% of the population, but 66% of all fatalities. Sounds to me like we've got a problem on our hands, a problem in need of a solution. Today's video is going to explore the pit bull question, the PQ. In a time when leftists are demanding full-scale bans on semi-automatic weapons and ammunition, there's another, more dangerous menace skulking around the parking lot of your local housing project or trailer park. We're going to look at the numbers, the science, the news reports, the unhinged owners, to truly explore in depth the problem with pit bulls. And I know it won't protect you from a pit bull bite. Hell, almost nothing will, but the people bringing you today's video can protect you from unwanted online attention. You may not know it, but your home, business, and commercial network routers are capable of recording and storing all of your browsing data. And no, using incognito mode is not enough to get around it. Whether you're browsing the web from a public hotspot or watching videos on your phone using your work Wi-Fi, all of that information is being recorded and stored by third parties that are logging your IP address, what you're viewing, and using that information to make money, or perhaps even worse. And that's why it's so important, in my opinion, to use a VPN, or virtual private network protection. Virtual Shield's VPN technology shields and protects all traffic in and out of your device, whether it's a phone, laptop, or desktop computer, and it works on home, business, or public internet connections. All you need to do is open the client, log in, click connect, and boom. Your connection is private, secure, and safe. Virtual Shield runs natively on Windows computers, Apple computers, and almost all mobile devices. And if you ever need to change your IP address for any reason, Virtual Shield provides dozens of US and international servers that you can access, all at the click of a button. Right now, you can get 30% off your VPN protection, which comes out to less than $1 per week. It's the most cost-effective way to protect yourself online. Virtual Shield is the easiest VPN to use, and it's the one that I trust. Check them out today. I already know that I'm going to get dozens, if not hundreds of comments that go exactly like this. Hey, you big dumb jerk, it's the owner, not the breed. I have a pit bull and he's a great boy. He's never attacked me or my kids. Well, that's probably what Emily Kraft of Missouri thought too, before her 2 pit bulls attacked a 75-year-old woman collecting cans and mauled her to death. That's right, Miss Georgia Morgan of Gulfport, Missouri was out for a walk when she found herself pounced on and mauled by a pair of pits owned by Miss Kraft. According to a neighbor, Miss Morgan was on her way to pick up tin cans from the Kraft house, which she did regularly, when the dogs decided to jump on her and attack the sweet, church-going nice old lady. Ah, but the dogs were just defending the owner's property, pit defenders may reply. Well, that's not all there is to the story. These same 2 dogs have previously hopped over the fence into the neighbor's yard and attacked the neighbor's lab dog. Miss Kraft, the owner of the murderous pit bulls, is cooperating with authorities. She wasn't going to be arrested either, until they realized she had outstanding warrants from an incident in 2017 where her dogs also jumped the fence and attacked someone else's golden retriever. So these 2 dogs are responsible for mauling a golden retriever, attacking a lab, and now chewing a woman's face beyond recognition. There aren't stats on dog-on-dog bite violence, but if they resemble the statistics for dog-on-human violence, pit bulls are responsible for nearly 2/3 of all attacks. I'm willing to wager that number's even higher, but because there are no stats, we can't determine for sure. We can only base our assumptions on the stats we do have. Pit bull defenders, how can you explain this? The owner apparently wasn't raising these dogs for fighting or abusing or mistreating them. They were simply acting on their own violent nature and instinct, which had been proven time and time again. Let's look at another case. I'm sure there are some pit defenders out there sitting around in their wife-beater tank top that are going to take a drag off their Marlboro Black before using their government-subsidized Obama phone to reply to this video with a link to cute pit bulls playing with children video or something like that. So yeah, let's talk about the kids for a second. From KUSI San Diego, quote, 2-month-old Gemma Linda continues to recover after pit bull attack. According to the report, Gemma Linda had just been put down for a nap in an infant bouncy chair when the pit bull of a family friend was startled. As a result, the dog attacked and bit Gemma Linda across the top of her head and face and started shaking her. She was hospitalized with a broken nose, punctured eye sockets, a misplaced jawline, a fractured cranium, torn lip, a brain puncture, and a crack behind her ear. End quote. In other words, the pit bull lived up to its natural inclinations. Resuming the report here, the baby has remained in the hospital since May 7 and continues to recover. According to a GoFundMe page for her, a metal plate has been placed in her head, which may cause complications for her mental development in the future. Her pupils at this point are fine, but she does have a torn tear duct that'll never work again. She has a broken nose, and we're still discussing future cosmetic surgery. She's very stable, but they're keeping her asleep to ensure she feels as less pain as possible, according to the page. End quote. In other words, this baby is going to be permanently mentally handicapped and physically disfigured for life because her mother fell for pro-pit propaganda. It's not the breed, it's the owners. Yeah, I don't buy it. You don't see a lot of chocolate labs out there turning sleeping infants into rag dolls. And I have an idea for how the family can raise money instead. Hold a blind auction where the winner gets the right to execute the nearly fatal pit bull through a method of their choosing. I'm sure there would be no shortage of people out there ready and willing to live up to the challenge. And another story from near my hometown. Quote, a city park ranger was injured by a dog that broke free of its restraint. According to the report, the park ranger approached some people in a motorhome and asked them to move in order to make way for other cars. And at that point, the pit bull decided that the ranger looked pretty tasty and decided to go in for a bite. He suffered a serious injury and was sent to the hospital as a result. And the most damning thing about these stories, all of these stories we've just mentioned, they've all taken place within the last week. Just go to Google News and type in pit bull attack. I'm writing this on May 17th, and here are the headlines that I'm seeing. Florida boy, 4, attacked twice by pit bull in Winn-Dixie parking lot. When pets attack, are pit bulls more dangerous than other dogs? Dog attack on 4-year-old caught on camera. Another pit bull attack, this time at Silver Lake. Baby makes remarkable recovery months after pit bull attack on Long Island. And all of these articles were posted in the last 6 days, and they aren't even the most recent ones. On May 15th, Scott Greer over the Daily Caller put up an article addressing the pit question. It's time for common sense pit bull regulation, the headline reads. Quote, calls to ban the breed have met intense criticism from pit bull owners who claim their dogs are lovable creatures and pose no threat at all. The anti-pit bull crowd counters the owners' cute pictures with data showing the breed to be responsible for nearly 2/3 of all dog bite fatalities, in spite of comprising only 6% of America's dog population. End quote. In his article, Scott draws parallels between the pit bull argument and the American gun debate. Many American leftists, as we know, demand that guns be intensely regulated in order to prevent, in their minds, crime and violence and death. But we know that guns in the hands of responsible owners are safe. There's close to 1 gun for every person in the US, making gun homicide, especially with long guns such as AR-15s, remarkably uncommon. According to the FBI, rifles kill approximately 370 people every year. According to dogsbite.org, 9,500 people annually are hospitalized due to serious dog bite injuries. Pit bulls are responsible for approximately 66% of dog bite fatalities, so if we extrapolate that statistic, that means that approximately 6,200 people are annually hospitalized in pit bull attacks. From 2005 to 2017, pit bulls were responsible for 284 deaths. Keep in mind, too, that there are an estimated 4 million pit bulls in the US. There are an estimated 300 million guns in America, many, if not most, of them being rifles. Using an extremely conservative estimate of 100 million rifles, with 370 annual fatalities and 4 million pit bulls, with an average of 26 deaths per year, pit bulls are nearly twice as fatal as rifles per capita. Twice as fatal as rifles per capita. We hear all the time from the left that rifles are so-called killing machines, and to a degree, they are kind of correct. A gun is designed to exert lethal force if used in that manner. But pit bulls aren't weapons, or at least they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be dogs that people keep as pets. Of course, as Scott points out in this article, responsible gun owners can virtually guarantee that their guns won't be used in the commission of a crime, whereas pit bull owners cannot prevent their feral animals from jumping the fence and mauling a toddler. At this point, we're aware of the dangers that pit bulls pose. we're aware that this small dog minority is committing a vastly disproportionate amount of dog crime. But how do the passionate pit bull defenders, who seem to be everywhere online, respond to these damning news stories and pieces of evidence? According to Shannon here, it is just like racism to look at and understand pit bull statistics. It is racist to look at numbers on a per capita basis. Really makes you wonder, is she implying that blacks and Middle Easterners are responsible for a disproportionate amount of, violent crime and terrorism, respectively? Unsurprisingly, Shannon also doesn't understand how per capita stats work. Never forget the 3 million innocent pit bulls. I love this tweet. No better way to fight back against the stereotype of pit bulls and their owners being uncivilized and unequipped for modern society, right? But hey, I'm really glad that pro-pit bull Twitter is out in force, looking to punish dangerous anti-pit activists through any available means. These people are truly fighting the good fight. You know, I started doing this video as sort of a meme, but after looking into the numbers, I'm actually convinced that pit bulls have no place in modern society. They aren't like guns. Guns are inanimate objects, and in order for guns to harm anyone, they need to be used by a human towards that end. A person has to decide to pull the trigger and decide to commit a crime. Pit bulls are naturally and genetically violent. They can't help it. It's in their nature. And even so-called responsible owners that train their dogs the right way and do all the right things are at risk of being murdered by their own animals. Because of their unpredictably violent nature, they don't work that well as self-defense dogs either, and they present more risks than they're worth, as evidenced by their propensity to jump fences and sink their teeth into mailmen, toddlers, or golden retrievers on a walk. There is an answer to the pit question. The breeding of pit bulls should immediately be made illegal, and current pit bulls should be sterilized. This will cause the population to rapidly decrease, while allowing current pit owners, God help them, to live out their final years with their dogs. Pits don't have to necessarily be confiscated. I believe that reversing their birth rates through legal and peaceful means is by far the best option here. The national dog bite epidemic must come to an end, and pit bulls must be dealt with. In conclusion, to paraphrase President Trump, somebody's doing the biting. And it certainly isn't the golden retrievers.